So I'm interested in showing you how to have things change at different times, various timings. So I'm making a quick tree. It's a very bad tree, but that will work as my tree. And I want an apple to fall from the tree. So I'm going to double click on here. We'll name this layer tree. And I want the tree to stay there for 30 frames. The tree is not going to move. So if I have an animation right now, this is a stationary object. It doesn't move. There's no animation. I have a keyframe here and a keyframe there, and it didn't budge. So it made a copy, and it's holding there for 3 seconds. I see a little 3S over top of it because I have frames per second is 10. You might be having frames per second of 30. So I'm just going to keep it as 10 for now. I might want to change that to another time later on. But I'm going to go ahead and add another layer, which you can do a couple different ways. But I'm going to go ahead and add the layer with this little plus. I'm going to name the layer apple. And I'm going to change this color and the shape to make an apple. So my playhead was right here on frame 27 or 28 when I was on this apple layer. So it created the apple just on frame 27 to the end. So the apple doesn't exist until frame 27. That's a mistake, but that's done on purpose so I can show you how to change this. So now I want to move something. So to move something, I grab my black arrow tool. I'm going to double click on this. I'm sorry, I'm just going to click once on this frame because I want it to be on frame 1. So I clicked on it once. Now, the second time I click, I'm going to hold my mouse button down and drag it to frame 1 and let go. Now my apple is there for all of these frames. So now I have a stationary apple, a stationary tree. Eventually want my apple to move. So I'm going to skip a frame, insert a keyframe, and we know how to animate. So I'm going to skip a frame, just quickly animate this apple to fall to the ground. And I can add it, make it bounce or something, but we're just going to make it fall to the ground. So if I play the animation, I have an apple falling to the ground. I now want to add another layer. This is a magic tree, has apples and oranges. So I'm going to change the color and I'm going to make an orange on an orange layer. Again, I did the same thing where my orange doesn't show up until frame 30, and I don't like that. So demonstrating again, I want to be on that black arrow up there, the selection tool, click once on this keyframe, and then click a second time but hold down, drag it to frame 1. This time, I don't want my orange to move until after the apple falls to the ground. So I'm going to start it on frame 15, and I'm going to right click, insert keyframe, and then that just keeps it there. I'm going to insert another keyframe. And now I'm going to start to move it. Insert a keyframe, move it, insert a keyframe, move it, insert a keyframe, move it, until it hits the ground. So if I play it, apple falls first, orange falls later. So the orange starts falling at 15, the apple starts later. But maybe I still don't have the timing of my orange just right. So if I highlight all of these, so I have to click off of it, then click and drag. I don't click and then drag. I just one swoop, click over this. I can drag that to start at a different time. So now the orange falls a little bit later because I starts on frame 21 instead of 15. And I can drag all these frames. If I click on them, I can change them so that they're every other frame apart. This is how you can adjust the timing of things in your animation. So you can vary the timing. You can have it so one thing's moving and then another thing's moving. You can have it so that it slows down by skipping every frame. There's lots of things you can do with varied timing, and you need to know that because that makes things look more natural when you're animating.